Okay guys, welcome. This front wheel is what we modeled last time at the last class. Okay, the front main and the inner tube. Okay, so this is what we did at the last class. Okay, so you guys did pretty good, you know what I mean? And remember, we used the tyros to make it, right? So this is the tyros. If I turn it off, the tyros will go. This is the inner tube. If I turn it off, the inner tube is gone. So we only see the original bike, the tire, right? See, you can clearly see that I have turned it off, right? So let's turn the main on. Actually, let's get the inner tube first. Okay, we have that. See, we have some design going on. This is the main. See, so in this class, what we're going to do is that this inner part design right here, that is what we're going to get today. This inner part here, there's a design going on. We already talked about that. So this is the old bike. Okay, so we will get the cut and then we will try to get the inner tube design. Okay, all right, we are inside, but you know, you can see we are at a geometry level, but everything is still out here. Is because I turn on like show all objects, right? I have to turn it off or give it a ghost. Okay, so we can see what we're working on. Okay, so this is where we left in the last class on the inner tube. Okay, so if I bring the shade here, we can see that there's nothing going on because we haven't done anything. So let's see how far we can go. Okay, so because we're going to have this design going on and our geometry is kind of little low in polygons, I will introduce subdivision. I think now we will be okay with it. So let's do that. Let's continue from the end and let's call for subdivision. Okay, so let's subdivide it. Because the display is still up here, we have to come down with it. See, now we have some division going on. Okay, don't worry about this side being, you know, bent with a division, because we will only work on one side and we will mirror it. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that side. We will work from this loop going on. We will work from this side and we will mirror whatever we do on this side to the other side. Okay, we don't want to work on both sides. Okay, let's figure out how we will get an inner design. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So we can call for edge loop and I'll put one closer to the edge here, something like that. Okay, and I'll tell you, you guys will know why we are put it in here. Okay, because we're gonna have some indentation going on around here, and I don't want the indentation to come all the way to the end, right? I don't want the indentation we're about to create to come all the way to the end. So we are blocking the flow. See, this is part of our theory too. We have to block the flow. We already have one here, but this one is part of the bevel, so we don't want to like touch them. We can give it another one. Okay, so we have one here. Now let's look inside it. Okay, when you look inside, it's not flat like that. You know, the inside push in, something like that. So let's try to get that. Okay, so this is the middle lane. Okay, so before that, I would like to introduce some more loops. Okay, so let's call for the last two. Okay, how you do that? We come here, we know already, right? You know, we have to get kill. So let's click here and hit kill. You know, so we have that too. We call it. You see, we have polysprate number 4. So where do you want it? Okay, the indentation is going to be around here, but only this side and this side is too little for the steer. So let's ghost others so that I could show you what I mean. You see, the steer is wider. It's coming from inside here. The steer is wider, right? And it comes over around here. See where the loop is activated, right? That is where this steer ends, and that is where the indentation is. So we have to bring some loops over there. Okay, so let's introduce one loop around here. Okay, so we got one loop over there. Okay, so let's hide stuff again so we can see inside clear. So we have this loop that we will use for this side, you know, but I still want one for here. You know, I want one so that, you know, it will block some flow if we like work around here. Okay, so we can do that. But that one, we don't have to call it again. We can increase the number of loops. Okay, we got 2, you know, so we are good. So we can use this side, this loop, and this first loop we just created, this one over here, to get the indentation area we need. Okay, so we have that. Let's zoom out on our operation, on our network. See, so you can see that even all this stuff is still not too much going on. So if you work like how I work, you know, how every object have its geometry level, you won't see crowded network, you know what I mean? You won't see that a lot, you know what I mean? Because every geometry or every part of your model have its own, you know what I mean, geometry level. That is not the better way to work, you know what I mean? Most people work by, you know, having all the part right here at the geometry level. Let's get out from the edge loop tool that we just did. Let's get out from there, click outside, deactivate, and look around. Now, where is that thing is going to go? But before that, let's do this design. Okay, let's double click this, the middle inside loop. Okay, let's get that one. We're gonna call for edit because we're gonna, like, you know, push it around a little bit. So let's call for scale. See that, introduce edit. All right, so you guys already know. So what I want to do is I want to scale it uniformly inside. Okay, so I'll try to get this. Even though I don't see all the 3 axes, it's okay. You can start moving it and see what's going on. I can see it's going inside, but that is not what I want, so I have to move it on the other directions. So I want to bring it inside a little bit. Okay, this design is there at the original Tron bike. You have the inside coming in like that, you know, so there's like a flow, like a bend, like something like that. So the inside, you know, kind of come like that. So we have it a little bit. It's okay. We can get it more closer so it is more obvious for you guys to see. Okay, if you see, you can see the inner is kind of like closing up, you know, something like that. It's closing up, and it's not this obvious. All right, it's just a little bit. So I can double click and then push it back a little bit. Okay, I think that is fine. All right, we are not even going to work around that, but you know, when you are modeling, you will try to get most of the details on the original object. All right, if you modeling a car, you will try to get some of the details, because when you are done, those details are the ones that will make people say, oh, okay, you did good, it looked like it, you know what I mean? Because they also knows, some of them, some people even already do what they own some of the objects like that, or they know the characters looks like this. Okay, so you try to get most of the details if you could. All right, cool. So let's get these details around here. Okay, let me ghost, let's get out from the tool, let me ghost stuff so that we see the area. Okay, so we will start getting it from somewhere around here all the way to here. Okay, we will indent that area. Okay, so let's go for polygons and let's select, let's get a lasso tool so we can just hold shift and just roll it down like that. I could have get both sides at a time, but let's finish this side. See, so we have something like that. You know, it's kind of like, for in the original bike, it's like a mechanic system where the steer touches here and it control the wheel, you know. So there's some design like that. So how are we going to get that? We have the area selected, right? And every part is okay. So obviously you guys could tell me what tool you go for to get this operation. It's very obvious, right? So let's get the poly extrude. Now we have poly extrude, but I don't want to push it in right away like that. Okay, if I push it in right away like that, you can see here it's very sharp going in. That is not how the original bike, that indentation is, right? That indentation is different. The size kind of come in a little bit. So how you get something like that? Okay, easy. Like poly extrude give you inset. Inset means all the polygons you selected, if you use inset, they will squeeze in or they can squeeze out. So we want a fine tune, like something small, squeeze in or squeeze out. So we will come down at the ladder and start squeezing it in a little bit. Okay, cool. Even though it looks like we push it in, it's not, it's still flat. It's just the polygons that have squeezed. All right, it's like you scaling it, but poly extrude allow you to do that inset. Do you know you have twist? You can twist the stuff that you know, can do all this stuff. You know, if some designs you have to do that, you have that. Okay, so we now worry about it, and this is the divisions you guys already know. So most of the options, when you have time, just go through it, just, you know, practice with them. Okay, all right, cool. So we have this inset going on. Now we can push it in, but if we push it in right now, you know, it's giving us something. It's giving us something we want, but the edges are like not very sharp, you know. So let's push it in a little bit. That is okay. So how can we get it to be obvious in the eye? You know, that would be the next stuff you have to think about it. So if you get out from the poly extrude, okay, and you look around, look at the shading, you see that. Let's get out from wireframe. Okay, come to smooth shading. Okay, when you look around, you see that if you have a texture or even a color, you might not even see all that indentation we just did. It's not obvious, but we did something. You see, we can see just a little bit here, but it's there, so it's not obvious at all. So you have to think, maybe you create something like that and you're thinking that it's going to show in a game. So you have a game character or a game prop, and all the details you created are not showing. This could be one of the reasons, because you did not give it the detail. You didn't finish the details. All right, so let's bring back the wireframe, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. Now you see the design is there, but it wasn't showing when we have the smooth going on. The wires is showing by the wire, because obviously the wires are giving us the design. Okay, but when you shade it, the wires is not going to be there. So that you have to think about that. Okay, so how do you get it to be obvious a little bit with the shades and everything? It's the same principle. We have to block stuff. We have to give these single lines, we have to double them. How you do it, we already know, beveling. Okay, so let's get out from poly extrude and come to the edges. Okay, and now we can start selecting the areas where we want those beveling to happening. So we got one. Let's hold shift and try to add more. See, we can get, I would like to get all the corners. Okay, so let's try. If you can't get, I don't think I need that. So this side, I won't double click it. I will just select that alone, so that, and I'll get this one. Okay, around here, I'm not interested in that side too much, because if we get this side, it will be all right. So let's see if we are good. So let's get this side, this, and here. Okay, see, so when you have it like this, all you have to do is what? Bevel it. Bevel. Okay, let's crank it up small. We're gonna go to the fine tune, because we want just a fine tune bevel on it. You go high, it will go crazy. Just a little bit. See? Okay, so from this beveling, let's see what happens if we go to smooth shade. See now we can see the design. It's very obvious now. It's very obvious, but without that, look, it's like it's messed up. See, so those little things are the modeling. That is how you show your design. And you're not, the tanning of the face is not going to do nothing. It's the holding of the edges. It's the holding of the lines. Maybe you will say, okay, if I push it in, the light it can show. No, even if you push it in, it will still be like that. It will still be like this. You won't see nothing. Okay, so it's the edges, it's the flow of the light that you have to think about. Okay, so now that we hold the flow, it's showing, and this is how it will show in almost all the other softwares out there, or even in a game. If you don't introduce this edge loops, you won't get the design looking right. Okay,